Sairam students, good morning. Hope all are doing fine. Yes, what a nice day to continue our second part of our fourth lesson, Maharashtra before the times of Shivaji Maharaj. Yes, in the first part, what did we learn in our first part? We learned about the Moja, the Kasba, Pargana, Baluta, and the famine in Maharashtra. What was the Moja? Small village was called as the Moja. Its chief was the Patil. The Kasbah, a bigger village compared to a Moja, was called as a Kasbah. The chief or the Watandars were the Shektes and the Mahajans. Then we learnt about the Pargana. Many villages together made a Pargana, and the chief were the Deshpandes and the Deshmukh. And these Deshpande and Deshmukh were the chief of the Patils and the Kulkarnis. We also learnt about Baluta. Now, what is Baluta? Baluta was a share of the farm produced, agricultural produce, which the farmers used to give to the various artisans who used to render their services to the village society. Yes, so that was Baluta. We also learnt about the famine in Maharashtra, where people, it was so devastating. It was so severe that people were ready to sell themselves for a piece of bhakri, but unfortunately there was nobody to buy them. This all we learnt in our first part. Now what are we going to learn in our second part? Yes, in our second part, Marathi is Maharashtra, as we say in Marathi, it's called as Santanchi Bhumi. Yes, Maharashtra is called as Santanchi Bhumi because there were many saints who have taken place, who have done a lot of work for awakening the masses, awakening the people of Maharashtra. So that is why Maharashtra is called Santanchi Bhumi. And the second part of this lesson, we are going to learn the work of the various saints of Maharashtra, the work of the Varkari movement. Now, who are Varkari? Yes, children, every year, during the month of Ashad, our students we have this Ashadi Ekadashi. Yes, so this Ashadi Ekadashi is a way of showing your devotion towards Lord Vitthal, and these people who are devotees of Lord Vitthal are called as the Varkari. Yes, so we are going to learn about the work of the Varkari movement. Okay, so this is Lord Vitthal over here, and you can see they have a procession. This is called as Dindi. Marathi will call as Dindi. Yes, they take the palki and then of Lord Vitthal and go to the temple at Pandarpur. Yes, which is in Maharashtra. Okay, now what work did the saints do in this Varkari movement? Now, before that, see this. Many blind faiths and superstitions prevailed in the society. Yes, people believed in many blind faiths, many things which were not at all real, just superstitions which are, not real, it does not have anything to do with reality. So they believed in these superstitions. People had become fatalist and inert. Fatalist and inert. What do you mean by fatalist? Fatalist means a person who believes that whatever he or she tries to do, nothing is going to come out of it. They always believe that jo hoga dekha jayega. It's fatalist. And inert means who have they are not active at all. They're not active, and they had become inactive because of the rule of the atrocities of the rulers over there. And under such circumstances, the sons in Maharashtra took the initiative to inspire the masses. So under these superstitions, under these people believing in superstitions, blind faiths, they being fatalist, it were the sons who took the initiative, who took the responsibility of awakening the people as to make them, guide them the right path, show them the right path. Fine. The tradition of sants in Maharashtra began with Sant Jnaneshwar and Sant Namdev. People from all strata of society were a part of the Sant tradition. So with whom did the Sant tradition begin in Maharashtra with? It began with Sant Jnaneshwar and Sant Namdev. People from all strata of society were a part of the Sant tradition. So it was from all sections of whether rich or poor, they all were a part of the Sant tradition. Pandarpur was at the center of the movement, and Lord Vitthal was the object of their worship. Yes, so this Varkari movement, it was Pandarpur which was the center of the Sant movement, and Lord Vitthal was the object of the worship. We have over here the picture of Vitthal and Rakumai. Yes, Lord Vitthal is thought to be a form of Lord Vishnu. Yes, and Rukmini, okay, she is believed to be the form of goddess Lakshmi. Yes. So Pandharpur was at the center of the Sant movement. Lord Vitthal was the object of their worship. The sons used to rejoice in their devotion at the banks of river Chandrabhaga. The sons believed in equality, which was propagated through bhajans, kirtans, and unity meals. So the sons, they used to, be so much immersed in the devotion of the river Chandrabhaga. Yes, now there is a song also. Chandrabhage chatiri, चंद्रभागे चातिरी उभा मंदिरी तो पहा विठेवरी विठल विठल जय हरी विठल विठल जय हरी दुमदुमली पंढरी दुमदुमली पंढरी पांडुरंग हरी तो पहा विठेवरी विठल विठल जय हरी. So this is the song whereby it's doing that, and on the river banks of river Chandrabhaga, people are rejoicing themselves in the devotion of Lord Vitthal. And these sons believed in equality, which was propagated through bhajans, kirtans, and unity meals. They had these meals together so that to show that everybody is equal, and through their bhajans, through their kirtans, they rejoiced in the devotion of Lord Vitthal. They believed in equality. This is what we learned even earlier, children, isn't it? When we learned that how did the sons try to bring in equality in the religious lesson, religious synthesis. We learned about the different sons who wanted to bring equality, who wanted to make people aware that everybody is equal for God, before God. Fine. Moving ahead. Sant Namdev. Yes, he was one of the first sant with whom the tradition of Sant began in Maharashtra. Sant Namdev was a skilled organizer. He awakened the sense of equality through his kirtans, and he was also of the belief that whether it be rich or poor, man or female, everybody is equal for God. So he awakened the sense of equality through his kirtans. Many sons and common people were influenced by his teachings. He also went to Punjab to spread his thoughts. His compositions are included in Guru Granth Sahib. He propagated the message of Bhagavad religion in all quarters. So that's the image of Sant Namdev over there. Now many other sons and common people were influenced by his teachings. He also went to Punjab to spread his thoughts. Remember in the last lesson we learnt about him, Sant Namdev? Yes. So he also went up to Punjab to spread his thoughts about equality, about people to treat each and everybody equal. And his compositions are there included in the Guru Granth Sahib. Guru Granth Sahib is the holy book of the Sikh. And he also propagated the message of Bhagavad religion in all quarters. So this Sant Namdev, with him and Sant Jnaneshwar, the tradition of Sant began in Maharashtra. Then Sant Jnaneshwar. Jnaneshwar Mauli, Jnanaraj Mauli Tukaram. This is many of the Varkaris, they sing this, okay. So Jnaneshwar, Sant Jnaneshwar was a great Sant in the Varkari movement. He has written Bhavartha Deepika or Jnaneshwari, which explains the meaning of the Sanskrit Bhagavad Gita. He also composed Amrutanubhav. He showed a simple way of worship which common people could easily follow. So Sant Jnaneshwar has a very prominent role to play in the Varkari movement, in the Sant movement. He has written Bhavartha Deepika or Jnaneshwari, which simplifies the meaning of Bhagavad Gita, which was written in Sanskrit. See, most of the sons believed in preaching in the language of the people. So what did Sant Jnaneshwar do? He translated Sanskrit Bhagavad Gita into Marathi and gave the name Bhavartha Deepika or Jnaneshwari. He also composed Amrutanubhav, and he showed the people the way of worship through in a very simple way, that not everything just to show off, no, in a simple way also. Even if you devote yourself to the Lord will be pleased. If you worship the Lord in the simplest way, even with that simple way, the Lord will be pleased. So which common people could easily follow, he showed that simple way of worship. Okay, fine. Hear it. One of his compositions, Pasayadan in Jnaneshwari, uplifts the mind. It gives peace to the mind. Ata Vishwatmake Deve. The Pasayadan begins with this. See, it's there on the screen, the Pasayadan. Yes. So it was composed by Gnaneshwari. Many children are taught this Pasayadan. Many of you might be knowing the Pasayadan by heart as well. Yes. So it is, they pray to the Lord as to how to help human being in all aspects. Okay. Moving ahead. Sant Eknath. He was a great sant of the Bhakti movement in Maharashtra. His compositions include Abhanga, Gauran, Bharud, etc. His Abhangas show the warmth of devotion. So he wrote Abhanga, Bharud and Gauran. There are many folk songs also on which are performed on the basis of his Gauran and Bharud. Yes, which were composed by Sant Eknath, who was a great sant in the Bhakti movement. And his Abhanga show the warmth of devotion. Yes, it shows that how devotion can be so peaceful, it can be so blissful. Okay, Sant Eknath explained in Marathi the Bhakti part of the Sanskrit work Bhagavad. He believed that Marathi language was inferior to no other language, and he also criticized the ones who hated other religion. So, see, like all other saints, he also wanted to teach and preach in the language of the people, and he believed that Marathi was not inferior to any other language. He said Marathi was at par with the languages as well. And he also believed in equality. That is why he criticized people who hated other religions, who did not believe that their other religions were equal to theirs. So the basic thing what I want to tell you all is, children, all the saints wanted the people to believe, wanted the people to be aware of that all religions are equal, all are equal before God. Fine, moving ahead. Next Sant Tukaram. Sant Tukaram was from Dehu near Pune. His compositions are very pleasing. His Gatha is a precious treasure of Marathi language. He believed in showing love to the unhappy and poor. So Sant Tukaram, also a very well-known sant in the Maharashtra tradition of sants. He was from Dehu near Pune, and the compositions, the abhangas which he has made, he had composed, they are so pleasing. You will be learning then some of the abhangas when you go to the higher standards. And he also believed in showing love to the unhappy and the poor. Now he just not believed, he also through his gestures, through his deeds he showed. Now how did he show? Therefore he threw in Indrayani river all the documents of loans that people had borrowed from him. He had believed that there should be equality, that you should show love and compassion to the poor and the tormented. So for that, what he did, whatever loan these poor people had borrowed from him, so the documents which he had, he took all the documents and he drowned them, he threw them into the river Indrayani. So there were no proof that the people had taken loans from him, and he waived off the loan and made these people free from the burden of loan. So that shows how compassionate he was towards the other humans. Okay. Then he also stressed that devotion should be coupled with morality. Everybody should have ethics, everybody should have morals when you are devoting. It should not be like you are showing your devotion, but on the other hand, you are just doing the opposite of it. Yes, he faced the opposition with noble courage. There were many people who opposed to what he was saying, what he was preaching, but with a lot of courage, he faced the opposition of the people. So Sant Tukaram, his abhanga is so pleasing. He was from Dehu near Pune, and he also believed that people should be treated equal. They should not be tormented. And for that, what he did was to show through his deed, he drowned all the documents of loans in river Indrayani and made the people free of the bond of loans. Okay, and he also stressed that when you're showing devotion, when you're worshipping the Lord, it should be coupled with morality. Your devotion should be having a lot of morals, should be having a lot of values. Fine, children. Moving ahead, Ramdas Swami. Yes, he was from Marathwada. He explained the importance of physical fitness to people. Through Dasbodh, Karunashtaka, Manache Shlok, he gave the practical education and lesson in good conduct. Ramdas Swami was also the guru of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Yes. So, Ramdas Swami hailed from Marathwada, And he, along with preaching the various things, he also made sure that people believed. He also explained the importance of physical fitness to people, that they should be industrious, that they should do work, that they should do exercises. All these things he explained the importance of it to the people. And he also has composed many other books like Das Bodh, Karunashtaka, Manache Slok, and he gave a practical education and lessons in good conduct. How your good conduct is valuable, how it is very important in the long run. Yes, moving ahead. He propagated the worship of Lord Ram and Lord Hanuman. He founded the Samartha Sampradaya to state the importance of people's movement and organization, and Safar was the center of this Sampradaya. So, through his preachings, to his teachings, he propagated, it spread that the worship of Lord Ram and Lord Hanuman. And for that he organized, he wanted people to be organized, and if that is why he formed the Samartha Sampradaya, and Chafar was the center of this organization, this Sampradaya. He wanted the people to be united, to come under one organization and fight for what was right. Yes, children, that was the teachings of Ramdas Swami. This Ramdas Swami is also called Samartha Ramdas. Yes. Work of the sons. Now, what work did the sons do? The sons gave the message of equality and humanity. Their work resulted in social awakening. Their teachings created self-confidence among the people. Isn't it, children? These sons, through their teachings, through their preachings, through their abhangas, through their compositions, they spread the message of equality and humanity. Which resulted in the social awakening of the people. Many people, their minds were they were brainwashed through the teachings of the sons, which resulted in a positive way. And their teachings created self-confidence among the people. People who were fatalist and inert became confident and thought that yes, they were capable of bringing in a change. They taught the true meaning of religion. They took the view that all are equal before God. A characteristic of the sons was that they did not forget their duties on the path of devotion. They found God in their work. Okay, so these sons, they believed, they taught the true meaning of religion. Religion doesn't mean that you only have to show your worship to the God. Along with that, you should have morals. Along with that, you should compassion to your fellow beings. Along with that, you are supposed to help those who are in need. And while doing all this work, the sons did not forget their duties on the path of devotion. Yes, so they believed that what they preached, they also practiced. That is what was of great importance by this of the Sant movement. They found the God in the work. They believed that you have to work in order to find God. God is like how work is worship. Yes, we have learned this. Work is worship. It was Basaveshwar who said that work is worship, isn't it? So you work, it is your worship to Lord. The same way, God, you find God in the work, whatever you do. Fine. Moving ahead, the work of sons proved to be a source of inspiration for independence during the foreign rule. Many people who were fatalist and inert, they became self-confident. They came up, and which was very much important for Maharashtra, because at that time Maharashtra was under the control of Adil Shah, Nizam Shah, and the other powers. The other powers were the Mughals, and later on came the Europeans also, whom they called as Topkars. We learnt it in the first part, children, isn't it? Yes. And who was in the forefront of this? It was Shahaji Maharaj, who was considered a visionary of Swaraj, was in the forefront of making Maharashtra free, making Maharashtra independent from the rule of the Adil Shah, the Nizam Shah, and the other powers. Yes, so a lot of work, a lot of inspirational work, a lot of motivational work was done by the sons to inspire the masses of Maharashtra, which resulted in the establishment of Swaraj later on by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. But even before that, Shahaji Maharaj was considered to be a visionary of Swaraj. He wanted Swaraj to be established, and as a result of this, it became possible for Maharashtra to have Swaraj, to have their own rule. Yes, children. So this is what the work of the sons did. They awakened the masses, they awakened the people, and helped them as to differentiate what is right, what is wrong, what they are capable of doing, and what should be done in their lifetime. Yes, children. So that is what we have learned in the second lesson, and we finish our second lesson over here. There's a small activity for you, homework for you to do, children. What you can see these images on the screen. What you have to do is you have to recognize them, identify them, and write their names. I have given numbers to each picture. So you can write the picture number and write the name of the saint over there, the sant over there. Is it? That is the homework which you have to do. 5 pictures you have to identify and write their names accordingly. I hope, children, you have understood the lesson. Yes, and please do the assignment which is given in the description, complete it and submit it. So over here we finish with our lesson, the fourth lesson, Maharashtra before the times of Shivaji Maharaj. Okay, so bye for now, children. Take care, stay safe.